12 rounds. Obey my commands. Good luck. Touch gloves. Let's go to work.
Jay,
if Alvarez is as good in the ring as he is as popular, he could make Shane Mosley look even older. If he's not that good, he can make Mosley look young again.
Shane Mosley's last 3 performances were highly questionable. He's coming off a 363-day layoff. But if Shane is on tonight, if he has a lot of what he used to have, then this could be a heck of a show, and we'll be sitting back and allowing you to admire the work. No need to talk a lot if these guys do what we think they might be able to do. The classic tactical first half minute as they get a look at each other and start to feel each other out.
But Alvarez hasn't thrown a punch yet.
and when he does throw a punch, Larry, you can be sure it's going to be a hard punch.
Seems to be sizing up Mosley's body language and beginning to figure where he can time him and what's going to happen as he watches, and Shane tests his jab, tests the length of his jab to see what it will take to land on Canelo. This is experimental stuff early on.
What gives veteran fighters problems is speed, quickness. Canelo has fast hands when he lets go, and we'll see how that registers.
Body shot by Canelo. That's his bread and butter. Jabbing to the body, making Mosley conscious of his body attack. Now Shane comes back to the body himself. And Canelo goes upstairs and lands his jab. Up and down, in and out. They're testing distance and movement, getting a feel for each other's body language as the round goes on. First left hook for Canelo. Probably his best punch.
You hear the fans chanting in the background, Canelo, Canelo.
It translates to cinnamon, incidentally.
Guess why?
Mosley got close enough for Canelo to land a body shot to his chest. Gets in another one below Mosley's heart. Nothing big so far.
Mosley's punches don't seem to have any power at all. It's more like he's jingling out of his punches. And I don't think he's going to be able to hold off Canelo with the kind of punches that he's throwing.
And Canelo landed that left hook. Mosley gets in a right hand upstairs. Canelo goes back to the left hook to the chest. Practice round.
Practice round.
No surprises. Everything we saw, everything we said we saw is there. You see him waste the beginning of the round because he's trying to make weight. We got to make them investments. He's moving around at the beginning of the round because he don't want to fight a whole round. Keep stabbing it, Shane. Keep stabbing it, keep touching. All right?
He wants to catch it with a strong punch, but he's very slow. So remember, you've got to work your speed and lots of movement. A little water. When he goes in, a little step back and throw. Straight shot, right? He's got his opportunity in his first 3 rounds. And he knows that. That's his chance. So you've got to be very careful there. Okay. We've got no rush. We've got no rush. Make him fade. Make him miss. Make him miss and bend your waist.
CompuBox numbers on round 1. Mosley threw 59 punches. 51 of them were jabs. He was given credit for landing 10. He was 15 out of 59 overall. Alvarez only threw 26 punches, landed 11. Several of them were body shots. And they go to round 2.
This round will definitely be more intense now. But I think that Mosley is going to have to punch with a little bit more power, which he will, I believe. in order to get some respect from Canelo, because otherwise Canelo's going to open up with power shots. But Mosley seems to be very much in a good, comfortable mode right now.
And what's interesting to me, Emmanuel, is that Canelo seems satisfied for the moment to function as the counterpuncher, allowing Mosley to take the lead in the fight and looking for opportunities to do that.
Well, it was an interesting observation by Naz Richardson, Mosley's trainer, that Canelo, he says, is trying to make weight so much, he believes, that he can't fight 3 minutes of a round.
Yeah, he's trying to conserve his energy.
Watch your head, watch your head.
And part of you wonders if Canelo is showing a little bit too much respect for this version of Mosley.
Or if he's lulling Mosley to sleep before he brings the storm. Or trying to. Now Alvarez begins to go forward. That would change the profile of the fight if he begins stepping forward and attacking. For now, it looks as though he's just trying to get a closer look. There's the jab, and he landed it flush on Mosley's face. And there's the left hook to the body, followed by the left hook upstairs. And now, finally, Canelo is beginning to put a physical imprint on the fight. This is the intensity which has made him a star in Mexico.
Well, I love to see him fight because he punches with so much power, but also this intensity that he fights with and the determination, which is a little different today because a lot of the fighters punch and they don't punch through the target. They, from this pad work thing, they just do enough to make contact. He punches all the way through the target every time he punches.
I love the poise and the confidence. He's so comfortable in the ring.
Well, 51 fights, I think, virtually said. When you put all of them together, that was Cato's record.
It's amazing.
Lots of fights.
Again, the official record is 39-0-1. Again, he goes to the body as Mosley is trying to work upstairs.
Canelo definitely throwing the punches with meaner intentions. And those body punches may take something out of Mosley shortly.
Larry Merchant earlier went to Miguel Cotto's dressing room to talk to the Puerto Rican star. Let's take a listen.
Miguel, you had such an emotional fight in your rematch. Can you bring that level of emotion that you had with Margarito to this fight tonight, or do you need it?
It's different kind of scenarios, you know. There was a rematch. It was something happened in 2008, and I get my revenge last year. But this one means a lot to me, you know. I want to win this fight. I work for that because I want to be the winner of this fight. I want to make my family proud of me, and that's the reason I'm here.
Is Floyd Mayweather more vulnerable to you as a fighter and champion as he doesn't seem to be to others?
We're going to check it out in few minutes, in few hours. But I know what I'm capable of doing inside the ring, and I'm going for him. I work for him, and I work for the victory.
Good luck. Thank you.
And we bring you back to live action in the ring. Canelo Alvarez against Shane Mosley. And in the second round, Canelo Alvarez began to step it up. His CompuBox numbers found him landing 27 out of 51 punches, 14 of them in the last minute. Many of them savage body shots. That's the heart of his game, as we told you. Mosley trying to get a boxing rhythm going against Canelo Alvarez. Alvarez alternately laying back and then sometimes stepping forward and landing hard shots like that right hand on the face of Mosley. These body shots are designed to test the older fighter's will and stick-to-itiveness at a stage of his career where you wonder how long he's going to want to hang in. His fans will all say, oh no, Shane's going to finish the fight. He's Shane Mosley. But Canelo may be very special.
Low. Watch your head.
Emmanuel, Shane Mosley has always had a habit of looking disappointed when you hit him. Almost as though he looks discouraged sometimes when you hit him. Does that affect judges in your view?
I think it does, and I'm looking at the expression on his face. He just, to me, I was just getting ready to say that he's getting hit with punches. He doesn't seem to have the reflexes he used to have, and I don't see that much power in his punches when he does punch. And he's not the type of guy that's going to tie up a guy like a lot of the veteran guys. He will fight you.
Time! Go over there. Time.
Oh,
Back to your corner. You got to cut.
We have a
It's a
cut.
headbutt.
And we have a headbutt. Shane is unmarked, and clearly it is Canelo who's dripping blood. Never been cut before. Pretty remarkable when you consider he's had 40 fights up to now.
Time in. Box.
The cut is outside the left eye. That may produce a higher level of urgency for Canelo. That could create some opportunities for Mosley, or it could be bad news if Canelo is as dominant as he seems to have been in the last couple of rounds.
I wonder how they rule that cut, whether it was from accidentally butt heads or whether it's from a blow.
Well, if it's from a blow, why would they have stopped and taken him to the corner?
Yeah, but you know, you're right, and which means it could be a big factor if they have to stop the fight. Who's ahead on the scorecards?
I'm being told by the truck that we are going to see clearly in a replay that it was a headbutt.
And seeing the blood probably rejuvenated Mosley for a moment here. Maybe enough to win the round.
Cut man in Canelo's corner is Jose Reynoso. He'll clearly be going to work between rounds. And we'll see how he does. Fortunately for Canelo, the cut appears to be outside the eye rather than above it. Oh no, partially above, on the lid. That could be a dangerous cut.
Breathe, relax, nothing's wrong. Nothing's wrong, you're winning the fight. Don't think that because of this it's going to be a problem. You've got nothing there in that cut. Everything's under control, son, everything's under control.
Here we see actually what caused the cut. Accidental headbutt.
Momentary look of disgust on Alvarez's face, but he's virtually expressionless in there a lot of the time.
But a lot of time when you get a cut, it doesn't start bleeding right away. It takes maybe a few seconds. That was very unusual. I mean, as soon as they clash heads, I mean, the blood just started spreading out right away.
Now, how long will it stay closed? How long before the blood starts flowing again? And how deep is that cut? Ultimately, those questions will determine how bothersome it is for Canelo. Harold, how do you have it through three?
Okay, Jim, I got it 2-1, 29-28, Canelo Alvarez. You know, Jim, in the first round, I thought, you know, Canelo's a slow starter, and Mosley outboxed him. But rounds 2 and 3, Canelo really started to come alive with that uppercut and that right hand and that left hook. Anyway, if the fight gets stopped in the 4th round, right now, it's a no decision. Once it goes beyond 4 rounds, you go to the scorecards. In other words, once this round ends, you go to the scorecards. Whoever's ahead on the scorecards wins on a technical decision. 2-1, Alvarez.
Nobody wants to see a no decision. And incidentally, we're thrilled to be joined at ringside now by 168-pound world champion, unbeaten American star, Andre Ward. Andre, welcome to our microphones for the first time. What do you see in the fight so far?
Well, you know, Shane Mosley came out with a power jab in the first couple rounds, and I really like that. But, you know, thus far, you know, Canelo Alvarez has taken over. He looks poised. He looks strong. He's landing some really good shots, and he came here tonight as if tonight was going to be his night.
Do you think it's the body punching that sets Canelo apart, Andre? Stop.
Not just the body punching. I think it's, you know, his well-rounded game. He's poised, and like I said, he's when he fights as if he's supposed to be here. And let's remember, he has 40 fights, so he's an experienced guy.
Where does Shane Mosley rank in your hierarchy of idols, fans? I mean, how big a fan were you of Mosley growing up?
Oh man, I watched Mosley, you know, especially when he was at 135, and I used to think, who is this guy? He was just a monster, and I have nothing but respect for him. You know, at some point, fighters are going to get old, and you know, right now the younger fighter's taking control of this fight.
Brilliantly said. Andre Ward, our guest at ringside here, as Shane Mosley and Canelo Alvarez continue through round 4.
You know, Alvarez is very effective and very impressive when he punches, but he still hasn't been that busy. I mean, he punches in spots. You know, he's looking to knock you out with that 1 or 2 big shots, and in the meantime, you know, Shane is busy pecking away with jabs or right hand, and I think the fight could be possibly closer on the scorecards than we're expecting it to be.
What's your instinct, Andre? Does Canelo fight at a measured pace because he's saving himself or because he wants to set up shocking moments like that one?
Well, I think it's a combination. I mean, you guys mentioned earlier about, you know, maybe having some weight problems. He also knows that Shane Mosley's a dangerous fighter. So that's why we see the high guard. He's not taking any silly chances. So, again, it's his overall game that's causing him to be successful tonight. But Shane Mosley is always dangerous from round 1 to round 12, and that's what he has to look out for.
Closing stages of round 4. Alvarez's cut has stayed under control throughout the round. Now just a slight trickle of blood as Mosley landed a right hand to end the round. Andre Ward will stick with us as we go to round 5. And there he is, unbeaten 168-pound title holder. Wave to the fans, Andre. Go right ahead. Spectacular smile.
You know, get up, bring the bucket up to the second level. I need you to bring the energy, Shane, like you want this thing. All right? The kid's not showing respect for you now, so now he's just doing what he wants there. All right, which is he's not doing nothing, so you can still take these rounds. All right, the left hand is working, but you're not bringing.
Pásame la otra grasa.
Vaseline.
Así estás trabajando bien, ¿eh?
You're working well. Working well. A little bit more speed, son.
Velocidad.
A little bit more speed, son.
Ya, velocidad.
Don't get hot-headed. Blend your ways. Just a fight plan like we planned.
Another look outside the MGM Grand in Las Vegas, Nevada on the evening of Cinco de Mayo. Later to come the main event between Floyd Mayweather and Miguel Cotto. How about your fan structure with regard to those two fighters? Have you been a follower of Mayweather and Cotto throughout their careers, Andre?
Absolutely. Fan of Miguel Cotto. Floyd Mayweather Jr. has been, you know, one of my favorite fighters since day one. Respect him a lot. I respect both guys, and this is going to be a tremendous fight tonight. The fans, they're in for a real treat.
Indeed. Canelo Alvarez now fighting through what we're told is the first cut of his career. Have you been cut badly yet, Andre, and how distracting is it?
Well, you know, for me, I have been cut, and they've been on headbutts. I've never been cut by a punch, and you know, I've always been able to stay focused. When you're in that ring, you know, you got 8 to 10 weeks under your belt of training camp, and it's not time to let something like a cut, you know, throw you off guard. So Canelo's handling it like a real champion right now. He looks like a guy who has 40 fights.
Who's your cut man?
Jacob Stitch Duran, one of the best in the business.
Absolutely. Has worked a great deal with my man Emmanuel Stewart, hasn't he, Emmanuel?
Yeah, with Vladimir Klitschko. You know, this fight here is really strange, even though we're all talking about Canelo's punch, but I see Shane myself is gradually winning the decision because he's busier and Canelo's only exploding in spots.
I disagree. Canelo's winning, or excuse me, in my view, he's winning the decision because he's landing more than half of his punches, Emmanuel. That's my take. I know that you see Shane as being more active, and he is. He's throwing more punches, and over the years, maybe you're right, maybe I'm wrong, because judges have shown that they'll respond to activity. But when Canelo lands, he's knocking Shane's head back.
This is why we all loved Shane for so many years, and why Canelo has built such a huge following.
Canelo landed low, and referee Gennady warned him verbally about it. The problem, Emmanuel, as I see it, for Shane is that he doesn't seem to be able to hurt
He doesn't
Alvarez.
have the punching power. But this has been Canelo's best round to me because he's been busy. His volume of punches has picked up this round.
Of all the factors that win prize fights for you, Andre, where does punching power rank?
Well, I think it's very important. I mean, if you need to have some kind of power to make a guy respect you, or he's going to try to walk through you all night long. But, you know, we're talking about Canelo's power here, but I think his mindset tonight, his mindset to come win and prove the doubters wrong is what's getting him through, and is also which is causing him to walk through some of Shane Mosley's big punches right now, because he's getting hit with some big shots, but he's walking through it.
Your mindset has been an ability to vary your style according to the opponent and do whatever it takes to win that fight against that style. You're brilliant at that.
I just don't like to lose, Jim.
Thank you, Andre, for your time. We really appreciate it.
Thanks a lot. I appreciate you having me.
Really enjoyed having you at ringside. 168-pound world champion Andre Ward, unbeaten, tremendous career so far. The last man to win an American Olympic gold medal in boxing at Athens in 2004.
He's gonna come out with everything, looking for one shot. Now relax, relax. Breathe deeply. How you feeling? Good? Good. Now he's winding down. He's winding down, but don't throw in, okay? Be careful. Be intelligent. See, son?
Here you see Canelo land a beautiful, powerful, straight left. And those are the type of punches that has been getting the attention of the crowd for the most part and the judges, because he punches so hard and he punches through with his punches. And Shane just doesn't have the physical strength, I don't think, to hold off on those punches without his body waving and every time he gets hit.
Power shots in round 5, and this is very forbidding for Mosley. Alvarez landed by CompuBox count 26 out of 37 power punches in that round. That's 70%. Mosley landed 11 of 25, but he's not landing, as Emmanuel just said, with anywhere near the same pop as Canelo Alvarez is able to produce.
You know, Shane was dominant as a lightweight. He was excellent as a welterweight. But the type of fighter that when he moved up in weight, for example, Winky Wright, he really wasn't dominant anymore. At this weight, his style just doesn't work against good, bigger men.
Now box.
He doesn't have the sophisticated kind of boxing style of Mayweather. He still has to fight the bigger guy.
We mentioned how stubborn Shane has been throughout his career. He made his mark at 154 pounds, chose to go after Winky Wright. A lot of people told him that was the wrong style, the wrong fighter for him to try to face, that he couldn't beat a tall southpaw with that kind of defensive craft. He got taken apart in the first fight with Winky Wright and decided he wanted to do it again.
Don't hold his head down.
And got another loss for his trouble, though he performed better the second time around.
Watch your head.
You know, I have a lot of interest in this fight in particular because we just recently made a deal where Golden Boy won a purse offer for the Corey Spinks K9 Brundage fight, and they will be staging that fight. And the ultimate plan is for, if my fighter, Cornelius Brundage, wins, is to fight Canelo Alvarez probably this fall.
Well, surely K9 is watching somewhere tonight as Alvarez continues to grow and develop, and if he wins this fight, he's going to be a linchpin for money. Opponents will be making good paychecks against Canelo Alvarez.
Well, Alvarez is also an exciting fighter, as I said, because he's one of the few fighters that punches with full authority. And if he would be busier than this, I mean, he would probably knock Shane out, but he's had to fight the way that he's fighting the last 2 rounds.
No, but Shane is not letting go because he doesn't want the incoming anymore. He's fighting under great control with his hands. And that gives Alvarez the chance to tee off.
Watch your head.
And Alvarez is mixing the body and the head, maybe punching a little more liberally to the head here tonight than we've seen him in some of his fights against good opponents, because it's there for him. He's landing more than half his power shots, and it becomes increasingly questionable whether 40-year-old Shane Mosley can stand up under all this. Take another look at what's happening in the dressing rooms. And Emmanuel Stewart spoke to you earlier of his own personal experience with Miguel Cotto and how deeply important family is to Cotto. Let's take a look at Miguel in his dressing room with his son, Junjo. That's Miguel Cotto Jr.
His son said he wants to be a doctor when he grows up. Not a boxer.
Well, Miguel is in some ways so gentle, it's hard for me to imagine that he would want any of his children to box.
He is probably one of the most loved fighters that I have ever worked with, I've been with in my life. And a big part of this crowd tonight is going to be Cotto fans. And the people, particularly Puerto Ricans, love him. And look at so many other fighters, like Seth Mitchell said that's his favorite fight.
Look at the drama that Cotto has given us over the years. Look at the great fights he's been in. Fans love that.
You know, Jim, of course, the background of the main event tonight is everybody still wondering whether we'll ever see Mayweather and Pacquiao. A fight that never got made in his time was Mosley and Trinidad. Why didn't we see that?
There are always complications. And now, Harold Letterman, how do you have it through 6?
Okay, Jim, I've got it 5 rounds to 1. 59-55 Canelo Alvarez. Jim, to me, Shane Mosley's face is getting all swollen up by these power punches. I mean, Canelo just keeps teeing off on him, landing the real hard shots, doing more damage. I got to tell you, Jim, for a 21-year-old kid, Canelo Alvarez has terrific skills. 5-1, Canelo Alvarez.
Not only has terrific skills, but I think Andre Ward said it very well. He has a sophisticated overall approach. He's balanced in his approach to everything that he does. I see him as what you love to call, Emmanuel, a balanced out fighter.
He's a very balanced out fighter. And, you know, and as the fight goes on, if he don't knock Shane out, he may have some problems simply because Shane is just so determined he's going to keep working. Shane is going to bring the best out of him tonight.
But in a way, for Canelo, it's almost a no-win situation unless he does close the show sensationally. He's not going to get full credit for just beating a 40-year-old Shane Mosley.
Larry, you began your in the dressing room interview with Shane with a question about people who might be worried about his health in this fight. The formula by which a fighter gets badly hurt is that the other guy lands bombs but can't knock him out. Canelo is landing bombs.
Yeah, Shane is he's been beaten, but very, very rarely have we seen him beaten up. I mean, he's been in fights, high contact fights, but he's getting hit with some serious stuff here.
It's very seldom we ever see him fight with a guy that can punch with so much power as this boy has also.
Mosley almost scored a tackle there. NFL draft was last week.
La cabeza. Watch your head. Watch your head.
Start. That's your best round. Hold on, baby. Come on. That's your best round, baby. You're forcing back in the corner. You can't see what we see, Shane. When you engage him, he don't win it back. He's fighting because as soon as he starts fighting, you stop. That's the only reason he's firing. Every time you hurt him, he starts firing to keep you from punching anymore. As soon as you start punching, as soon as he starts punching, you stop. We need you to step to this guy, son. You got him bleeding from everywhere. We need you to step to this guy and get it done, man. Need both.
You good? More water? Breathe, son. Deep. The other Vaseline now.
Power punches in the 7th round. Alvarez landed 30 of 50. Dangerous. Shane Mosley, 13 out of 22. That's 59%, but he's not landing heavy shots. The heavy shots are coming from the man in the black trunks with gold trim.
Alvarez and his corner have handled that cut well. They haven't let it be a factor in the fight so far.
Credit to a cut man named Jose Reynoso. You heard Nassim Richardson saying that was your best round because you pushed him back. Mosley's coming forward and being aggressive again. At least when he does this, he shortens up Alvarez's ability to load up his shots.
Yes, even though Alvarez is a big puncher and he punches with short power punches, it seems like he has to have a little space to do that, though.
I agree.
And Shane is really putting a lot of pressure on him, and I'm really surprised that he's taking those shots, but Shane is pushing him all the way to the limit. And if anywhere along the fight, Alvarez wants to take a break or get tired, he's going to have a problem with Shane.
Well, we're a minute into the 8th round, and it appears that if Canelo is going to take a round off or try to get rest, this is the one, because he was very passive in the first minute of the round.
Yeah, well, that's one of the few knocks against him is he fights in spurts.
Yeah.
But he explodes very well with a lot of power.
But again, I think he's trying to lull you to sleep, and then he steps up with flurries like this. And sometimes he shocks you with the way he lands power shots, one right after another. Boom, boom. That body shot knocked Mosley back 5 feet. Budding shots. These are sound effect punches.
Those are punches that would have knocked out or knocked down the average guy, but at the end of all that, Shane is still right back in his face again.
Always had a great chin.
Yep.
Never been knocked out. Turns Canelo's head with a right hand.
Well, that was the Mexican head roll he does. A lot of those guys that do that, where they roll their head, and you think that you're hitting them. You know, it's a difference from the way that the American fighters roll their shoulders, but they roll their head.
Shane Mosley starting to swell around the eyes. Still working, trying to apply his legendary professionalism. Uppercut by Canelo. Mosley walks him back.
Watch your head, Shane. Time.
Tony Weeks is the referee for the main event. Let's hear some instructions in the dressing room.
Okay, do we have 2 mouthpieces?
Yeah.
I don't need to see him. I don't need to. Do you have 2?
Yeah.
Okay, good. All right. If the mouthpiece comes out, continue to fight till there's a walling action. Come over to you, Roger. No water, no instructions. Put it back. Get me ready to go again. Now, if I determine that you're spitting that mouthpiece out to gain any type of advantage, I'm gonna warn you. After that, I'm deducting points. Okay. Knockdown's good. The furthest neutral corner, stay there until I tell you to come out. If you come out anytime during the count, I'll stop the count and send you back. Okay. Wait for me to tell you to resume the fight.
Okay.
Are there any questions or concerns at this time?
No.
All right. Good luck to you.
All right, thank you.
All right. Good luck.
Good luck, Mayweather.
All right.
Perfect timing by Tony Weeks. He gets out in time for us to come back to the semi-main. Canelo Alvarez against Shane Mosley. Power shots in the 8th round. Alvarez landed 24-44. He's been landing more than half his power shots routinely as the fight goes on. Mosley, 11 out of 22. He lands 50% because Canelo isn't defending all that responsibly. He's more or less allowing Mosley to throw to set up his own counter shots.
He has no respect for Mosley's punching power.
But he is an attrition fighter. He does not come out looking for home runs.
Watch your head, Shane.
Doubles, triples, and when the opportunity presents itself, he'll go for the big one.
Back.
Line drive, doubles and triples off the wall. Power shots. Ninth round of a scheduled 12. Alvarez, blood still trickling from the cut outside the eye that came from a headbutt in round 3. He's been very calm ever since. Short right hand inside by Canelo.
Watch your head.
Amazing accuracy throughout the fight for Alvarez. Seems to be able to land when he wants to. ripping Mosley to the head over and over. Not as focused on the body as we've sometimes seen him be.
Watch your head, Shane.
Mosley's legs have held up better, Jim, than we've seen him in some recent fights.
Just took 2 vicious body shots and a third one, and he's backing away now. Canelo hurt him with the body shots.
Stop!
Shane Mosley grabs and holds.
Stop!
This is a moment here as Mosley is seeing the focus to the body.
If Canelo said this was an audition for a possible fight against Mayweather, here's where he has the chance to pass the audition.
Absolutely right. The narrative was clear coming in. The great Shane Mosley's never been knocked out, including in his loss to Floyd Mayweather 2 years ago. Now Mosley gets in a right hand. Canelo still has no respect for his punching power. Walks right back to him and goes straight back to the body. Look at the commitment to those body punches. This is fierce.
Very big puncher for a 154-pounder.
Yeah, well, that's the kind of commitment Shane Mosley used to have.
Time!
Let me get that up there.
May 19, tune in for 24/7 Road to Pacquiao Bradley, a personal look at both fighters as they head toward their June 9 pay-per-view matchup. Following the show, live boxing with the rematch between 140-pound champ Lamont Peterson and Amir Khan. Also, rising star Adrian Broner defends his 130-pound title against Gary Sykes.
Shane. He land one big shot just to get you off of him, Shane. You land a beautiful shot, but don't come back. You don't come back behind him. If you got something left, you got to put them together because one's not going to be enough.
Even though Canelo has landed a lot of powerful shots during this fight, this is the most effective punch I think that he's landed in the entire fight. Maybe the most effective punch for either fighter. This left hook to the body that he landed earlier was the best shot of the night, and it slowed Shane down.
Prompted Shane to walk away.
I'm thinking now of the line from the famous Paul Simon song, The Boxer, about Shane Mosley. I am leaving, but the fighter remains.
Harold, how do you have it through 9?
Okay, Jim, I got an 89-82, 8 rounds to 1, Canelo Alvarez. I agree with Larry, Jim. I'm having a hard time watching this fight. I mean, Shane Mosley, a great old veteran, taking a terrible beating by a young kid who's just strong, powerful, and every time he lands a shot, you can almost see the pain in Mosley's face. I mean, definitely doing more damage, and that's what a judge judges.
Isn't it one of the age-old rituals of boxing, Harold and Larry? Isn't it inevitable that the great champions ultimately have to go this way?
They don't believe they're beaten until they're beaten up.
And once again, Alvarez starts the round fairly slowly and fairly passively. It's almost as though he takes the first minute off before beginning to crank up the pressure as the round goes on.
Because he knows that Shane's punches are just like a little nuisance punches. They really don't hurt him. And he just takes a break, and then he explodes when he wants to, and then he takes a break again.
This good jab by Shane Mosley.
Really,
Asim Richardson said a very interesting thing between rounds. He said, if you have anything left, you have to put it all together because one punch at a time won't do. The key word was if. He's not sure whether Shane has any.
No, he's not sure. And Shane's punches, really the jab is really not a jab. I never thought he was a jab. He kind of jingles the left hand, but he doesn't have any real authoritative power on it.
Oh, his best punch in his prime was a left hook to the body.
That was his best punch, mainly when he was as a lightweight.
He tried it right there. Low blow by Mosley. Didn't bother Canelo.
Blood is streaming again from Canelo's eye. Maybe that encourages Mosley to keep going, although he really doesn't need much encouragement.
Hard right hand knocks Mosley back. Good hand speed on that combination. 4-punch combination from Alvarez. Another brutal round for Shane Mosley coming down the stretch.
In this sport, everybody is a bounty hunter.
Miguel Cotto warming up in his dressing room with trainer Pedro Diaz. And the entourage clapping in rhythm, getting him going. And in the other dressing room down the hall, the amazing mitt-work between Uncle Roger and nephew Floyd. In rhythm. Something they can do instinctively, probably with blindfolds on, in their sleep.
Come back with that up. I need this, son. They watching you close. Anything this kid do, they're gonna try to jump in the stable.
Yeah, but fighting a hell of a fight.
Yeah, you fight. You fight. As long as you fighting back. Stomp feint, right hand, left hook. I need the Shane Mosley.
They can try to hype him, but they can't fool Shane. He knows too much. Power in round 10. Alvarez 20 of 36. He has routinely landed more than half his power shots throughout the fight, and they are not just power shots by definition. They are power shots. Mosley, 5 out of 22 for 23%. Big left hook.
Stop!
Well, it's abundantly clear, Emmanuel Stewart, that a visibly discouraged Shane Mosley won't quit and is determined to finish the fight. So it would be up to Nassim Richardson and the rest of the corner to make a decision if they felt like things were getting too bad, and obviously they don't think so far.
No, you can't stop his fighting. I mean, he's getting hit with good shots, but never has he been staggered and hurt, and in a manner just he's getting hit with clean punches that have his head snaring back. But that's Shane. He's in there like with a .22 rifle, with a guy with a high-powered rifle in there, and that's the difference. He can land a lot of punches, don't have the effect of this guy. When he punches back, Alvarez has so much more authority and power on his punches. That's really the difference.
That solid right-hand cross upstairs by Shane Mosley was one of his best punches of the fight. Didn't bother Canelo in even the slightest degree.
But here he is, still standing.
And fighting.
Still fighting.
It appears that Mosley will be headed for a third loss in his last 4 fights, and the other was a draw with Sergio Mora. And it appears the time has come.
He's getting about $600,000 for this fight.
Good.
Well below his bests.
He's earning it. Canelo, as you pointed out earlier, Larry, is getting a huge paycheck.
$2 million. And adding to the total of pay-per-views, so that giving Floyd Mayweather more ammunition for negotiating with Pacquiao, if that negotiation would ever go anywhere.
This is a brilliantly conceived pay-per-view for Mayweather. Canelo adds numbers, and Cotto adds numbers big time.
All the big boxing food groups are here.
Well, this is Cinco de Mayo, and Canelo here is snatching for the Mexican part. And Miguel Cotto has always been one of the biggest and most popular attractions in boxing.
And one missing food group, Filipinos.
Stop! Break.
And of course, the American fans that Mayweather attracts. Want to see him win or lose, he attracts them.
Mosley's dutifully trying to work to the body. Canelo is blocking most of the shots with his arms and taking advantage of the opportunity to come upstairs and hit Shane flush.
Stop!
They've gone 11.
Okay, that shit is still in. Don't blow. Don't blow. Let Jimmy work with it. Don't blow. They can't talk about stopping nothing. This kid fighting at the end of each round. This kid ain't fighting until the end of each round.
This is the last round. Yeah, we know.
When you hurt him, he starts throwing his hands.
Last round. That's the ultimate.
Everything's good. Everything's good.
Agarra ahí, es el último
Breathe,
round.
breathe. This is the last round, okay?
Ten cuidado.
Be careful.
¿Cómo te sientes?
Be careful. He's gonna come out to kill you. How do you feel? You feel good? Give me the Vaseline.
Pásame la otra grasa, mi chepazo.
The other Vaseline.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is round 12. Let's hear it for the legend Sugar Shane.
Much of the crowd rising now, standing ovation.
Okay, last round, ultima.
Some of the cheers for the mastery of Canelo here tonight. Some of the cheers for Shane Mosley's great career.
Box.
Fans thinking they're seeing Shane Mosley's last stand.
Stop!
And maybe hoping they are.
Don't hold. Thank you. Don't grab his head. Stop!
Emmanuel, what do you think we found out about Alvarez tonight?
Well, we always knew he was a good puncher. But the thing is, I've always said was his biggest weakness is he fights in spots. There's not that much consistency in him when he fights. He's explosive, but in the meantime, he doesn't box him up. But he's a very good fighter. He's a very exciting fighter to me.
Across the ring, in the third row, center, Shane Mosley's opposite number for most of his life, Oscar De La Hoya, watching the closing stages of what may be Shane's last fight. At the end of the day, Shane lasted 3 more years as a professional now than was the case for Oscar.
He made a lot more money. Let's remember that. But there were 2 fighters who defined their times.
Oscar was the one who got the Olympic gold medal in '92. If Shane had made it to the Olympics in Barcelona as everyone had expected him to, he would have been just as big a favorite to win gold as Oscar. Didn't happen for him. He had 2 wins over De La Hoya at the height of his career, but still never could completely get out of Oscar's shadow. Wound up working with and for him at Golden Boy. Forever, their identities will be tied.
Reminiscent of the end of the first Mosley-De La Hoya fight, the fans standing up all around this arena, a great tribute to a once great fighter.
Stop! Back! Box!
You have to give Shane Mosley credit for fighting a very courageous fight.
He tried.
He was all the way down the wire to the last few seconds. He's still fighting.
Way more than he gave in his performance against Manny Pacquiao.
And Floyd Mayweather.
Shane showed his courage tonight. Canelo showed his thunder.
No matter what happens in the main event, these fans are standing, cheering. This is what professional prize fighting is about. They will remember this fight.
A rite of passage, so common in this brutal sport. Harold gave only the first round to Shane Mosley. Harold, take us through the 3 judges now who will give us the official decision.
All righty, Jim. Jesse Reyes, about 1 month ago in Cancun, Mexico, Jesse Reyes, Julie Letterman, and Max DeLuca scored a very, very close flyweight title fight, 114-111. They all had the same score. Therefore, I think he's a good judge. He's from Texas. C.J. Ross, veteran judge. She usually does a good job here. She's worked a lot. Got a lot of draws on her record, but, you know, she's pretty good. And Glenn Trowbridge, well, he'll never live down Richard Abril and Brandon Rios. I mean, it was just atrocious. Brandon Rios didn't win that fight, so, you know, questionable.
It's not the most experienced judging corps imaginable, but in my personal view, A blind man could have judged this fight from the sound of Alvarez's body shots. Shane Mosley's face says a lot about what took place in the ring. As one of the governing body czars, Jose Suleiman, goes in to talk to him, and there's Bernard Hopkins with some words for 26 years younger Canelo Alvarez. And now Michael Buffer has the official decision. Let's go to it.
Ladies and gentlemen, after 12 rounds of championship boxing, we go to the scorecards here at the MGM Grand. Jesse Reyes scores it 119-109. C.J. Ross 118-110. Glenn Trowbridge 119-109 to the winner by unanimous decision. Still undefeated and still WBC super welterweight champion of the world, Saul Canelo